If everyone can find a seat or an area to stand, we're going to be starting momentarily. With it. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Deputy Chief Flaherty. On behalf of the Hadley Fire Department, I want to welcome you all, our residents, town officials, neighboring departments, and of course, Chief Spanknebel's family and friends to this very special occasion. First order of business, Chief Spanknebel would like to speak.
Thank you. Just very briefly, we lost a very important member of our community this past week, and I just wanted to take a moment of silence for John Kokoski, a member of the fire department from the early 1970s through mid to late 1990s. He was a good friend, a kind, gentle soul, and we're all going to miss him. So if we could take a minute. Thank you. And one last thing, there's one gentleman that also is in the hospital today, and he has been a part of my life at the station here. Where are the tissues? So Tim O'Hara is unable to make it today. He's in the hospital with an injury for falling, and I just want to extend to him that we're thinking of him as well. So thank you very much.
So we are gathered here today to celebrate an incredible milestone and to express our deepest gratitude to Chief Spanknebel on over 27 years of service to the Hadley Fire Department. Michael has dedicated his career to protecting the community, leading our department with an integrity, and ensuring that the residents of Hadley are safe. Chief Spanknebel was appointed as a call force firefighter in 1999. He became the emergency management director in 2003. A position he still holds today. He was promoted to lieutenant in 2005 while becoming the first full-time firefighter for the town of Hadley. He was promoted to the rank of captain in 2008, a position he held until being selected as the first full-time fire chief in 2013. Through all of his years, Chief Spanknebel has been a fierce advocate for public safety and a leader we have all been proud to follow. Today is about honoring that legacy and celebrating a remarkable leader, mentor, and friend. This afternoon, we have a wonderful lineup of speakers set up to send Chief Spanknebel off in style, followed by a formal transfer of command and his final radio dispatch. First order of business, I would like to bring Veronica from Representative Gomez's office for a citation.
So on behalf of the State House of Representatives, we want to wish you a long and healthy and happy retirement and congratulate you on 27 years. And unfortunately, Representative Gomez couldn't be here today. He's on bereavement leave, but I'm here to represent him, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So it is my privilege to introduce our second speaker, retired Select Board member, resident, and good friend of Chief Spanknebel, Joyce Chunglo, who will be presenting congressional citation.
Of course, I can't just hand you this.
Okay.
So it is bittersweet for me, as it is, I'm sure, for most of you, that we are here today to dedicate ourselves to saying goodbye to Mike in a fashionable way. I was on the board in 2013 when we elevated Mike to the fire chief position. How ironic, 13 years later, he has decided to retire. So with our best interest, we thank you very much for your time. And I'm very honored to be here for your last call. I'll have to say more tonight. But.
Me too.
So this is from Senator Joe Comerford. Dear Chief Spanknebel, congratulations on more than 27 years of service and dedication to the town of Hadley and the safety of its residents. Thank you for your incredible contributions to Hadley as Fire Chief, the Town Civil Defense Director, Emergency Management Director, and all the roles you've held over your career. I am sorry to not be able to join the celebration to recognize your steadfast leadership in retirement, and I'm proud to represent you in the Senate, to present you with a Senate citation. Please feel free to reach out to me or my team if we can ever be of service. Warmest wishes and thanks, yours, Joe Comerford. So, that's yours.
Thank you.
There goes my speech. It
So,
went.
with that,
Oh, it's all right. Let it fly. Oh, here, this goes with it.
So our next speaker is Select Board Member and Ambulance Oversight Committee Chair, and also the Public Safety Liaison, Molly Keegan.
So somewhere in the late 90s, 1999 perhaps, a young man by the name of Michael Spanknebel made a decision to join the Hadley Call Force. That was a decision that would set the trajectory of this department on a path that no one knew was coming. Mike joined the call force and immediately, within those first few years, recognized that we had an issue here in Hadley. We were growing both commercially and residentially, and the call force really wasn't adequate. And Mike really took it upon himself to be a tremendous advocate and push the narrative forward that good enough isn't good enough for Hadley, and he wanted the best. And so from that moment on, Mike set himself up through training to be, as Joyce pointed out, our first full-time firefighter here in Hadley. And he kept looking at immediately what could be done from a fire prevention standpoint. That was absolutely his focus when he started. Making sure inspections happened that hadn't been done, making sure that education was occurring at the elementary school. Remember the stop, drop, roll. And also for our vulnerable population of seniors, making sure that they were getting training on safety in the kitchen and the like. But that wasn't good enough for Mike. Mike wanted to make sure that we had adequate coverage during the peak hours. So he pushed hard, and I mean very hard, to make sure that we got funding to hire additional fire force members. So we brought on a couple of new fire personnel so that we did have good coverage during the day. That still left us vulnerable in Mike's mind at night. And so while he was continuing to try to work on that, he had a fire study done so that he would have some ammunition to bring to the leadership team and to the town to prove that what he was saying was true, that we needed better public safety coverage and fire prevention. Somewhere along the line, he realized that even though we had a wonderful relationship with the town of Amherst to provide ambulance services, our response times weren't good enough for the town of Hadley. So he made sure that we brought an ambulance in-house so that we cut response times in half with that decision. And now bring us closer to the present. Mike has been, as you know, a huge advocate for trying to move this department to 24/7 coverage. With the successful passage of the most recent override, we're there. I know Mike is still not satisfied, and we know, but it's coming from a place in his heart that He has always advocated for and wanted nothing but the best for everybody here in this room, everybody who passes through this town. And I have to say, over the years, you know, I've been in many, many conversations with Mike. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't agree, but I have never, ever left a single conversation wondering what his motivation was. Mike's motivation has always been, I want the best for the town. I want to know that the people that are under my charge are safe, and I will do everything I can to make that happen. So another thing I know about Mike is he's a pretty humble guy. And I would imagine that this is bittersweet, and it's going to be very hard for him to move along today. But I do hope that Mike knows what the rest of us knows, which is that he has made an indelible positive impression on this town, and that the town is better for it, and we are all safer for it. So on behalf of select boards past, present, and I'm sure the future, Mike, we can't thank you enough, because you are a unique individual, and we will miss you greatly.
Thank you.
Our next presenter is Patrick Carnival from MEMA.
So I had a lot to say, but you covered everything. That was, so I'm sure they're grateful too, because I've been known to talk a long period of time. But I've known Mike, I don't know, 30 years at least, 25, I don't know, somewhere in there. About a month ago, Mike calls or texts, one of the two, I don't know anymore, I'm getting old, I forget. He says, hey, I got a retirement party coming up, do you think you can make it? So he sends me the date and the announcement, and I'm supposed to be in Boston for Sail Boston. Thank God the World Cup is done. I'm tired. So I looked at my schedule, and I knew I had to be in Sail Boston, and I will be going there for the second half of the day. But for Mike, I would do anything. As I said, I go back 25 years with Mike. And by the way, he tried scaffing 2 presentations, and so I know Mike's a little game. I checked with the region, and they said, oh, no, we already gave Mike a presentation. So I have what we already did with Mike, but I didn't want to be embarrassed in front of all these people, so I called out a favor and some colleagues that I know at the Gov's office and got you a governor's citation. So, but a couple things I want to say before that. When I say to you that I've known Mike for at least 25 years, I remember I was working in the region at the time, which the region is Worcester West, and Mike and I walking these levees back here because Mike was, as the EMD, was worried about that aspect of Hadley. But that's how Mike did his job all the time, whether it was fire, EM, you name it. You could call Mike, he'd be there for you. We have a colleague that passed away a few years ago, and he actually called me Bob today. I don't know why he called me Bob, but called me Bob. But I know the town already knows this. What you're losing is an incredible person. Not fire person, not EM, just a genuine great person. I can't say that about everyone that I work with all the time, but Mike really is exceptional. Look what he's done, as you stated 2 minutes ago, for this community. It's unheard of. And it was all because of, it wasn't because of Mike Spanknebel. It wasn't. It was because he wanted this for the community. I will read, I'm not going to read the one we already gave him because he's not going to blow up his head twice. So, but I will read the governor's citation because I think it's important. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Hadley Fire Chief Mike Spanknebel. On behalf of the residents of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am pleased to confer upon you the governor's citation in recognition of 27 years of dedicated service to the Hadley Fire Department. We commend you for your leadership, bravery, and commitment to the community as a fire chief. Your outstanding work to the town of Hadley exemplifies the meaning of public service. The Commonwealth thanks you for the time and talent and wishes you all the best in the years to come. More T. Healy, Governor. Kimberly Driscoll, Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you.
Up next is Hadley Police Chief Michael Mason. Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. I've known Mike for more than 25 years, ever since I was a part-time dispatcher working nights and then a rookie officer. He was always dragging himself out of bed to come to the calls, no matter what time of night and no matter the weather. For the first few months working here, I thought, is this the only guy that works here? Over the years, I got to know him not only as one of the most dedicated firefighters in town, but as one of the best people I know. I am proud to say that he became my friend, my confidant, and my brother. God knows we fought like it sometimes. Mike has always been there for people, not just professionally, but personally. Over my first few years as chief of police, there were several dark days in our profession and for me. Things that caused many of us to question whether we wanted to remain in this job. Mike has never missed an opportunity to wander down the hallway to check on me, to check on us. Mike was there for me every time some stressful situation buried me. Mike was there for me when my mom passed away. Mike was there for all of us when John passed away. He's still dragging himself out of bed in the middle of the night to come to calls, but he gives him of himself for all of us. Mike has given me a lot of things to remember him, but he's also given me one of my most prized material possessions. For those of you who don't know, Mike, John Robitaille, and I enjoy baseball, and we all have a modest collection of memorabilia. I recall chatting with him one day and telling him that I had been trying to, for months, to orchestrate a trade with John. I had mentioned to him that a little-known left fielder for the Red Sox from the mid-'80s to the mid-'90s was one of my favorite players of all time. Anyone? No? Mike Greenwell, the Gator. Greenwell was not a perennial all-star. He did not win any batting titles, but he played the game hard. That's what I liked about him, just like Mike. Anyway, I was trying to trade a Dennis Eckersley signed Hall of Fame ball for the Mike Greenwell ball. I was giving away the farm with this trade, but John would not budge. Several months later, and for absolutely no apparent reason, Mike comes down the hall and places a baseball in a protective case on my desk. I could immediately see Mike Greenwell's signature on it. Now again, Greenwell was not a star, so Jess, I don't think he broke the bank buying that ball. But that's not what it was about. He remembered what I said, went on an online auction, bought the ball, and gave it to me. I will cherish that ball and what it represents forever. Bob, I wish you the best of luck. When someone takes over for a mainstay, there's always a warning of big shoes to fill. While I'm sure you can handle the task in front of you, I just want to say that I promise I'm not as surly or mean or gruff as I may come across as you start your time here. I probably just miss my friend. So we have a gift for Mike. Wow. This is a flag we had made, and for those of you who don't know, Mike, as the emergency management director, oversees all medical situations. So we have our EMS patch, our dispatch patch, our police department patch, and the fire department patch. And we had everybody who currently works here sign this. I'll take it. For those of you who didn't sign it, see me after. Thank you. Presentation from the Hampshire County Chiefs, Chief John Ingram from the Belchertown Fire Department, and Chief Evan Bryant, and former Deputy Chief of Hadley Fire, Evan Bryant from Granby.
Thank you. First off, I'd like to really, from the association, thank Mike's wife and children. For people who are in the fire service, if you're not in the fire service, you're really not sure what really happens and how many phone calls we get all 24 hours a day and the responses that we're going on. So I'd like to give a round of applause to Jess and his children for putting up with all that. I started my career in Amherst and got to know Mike there, and then became fire chief and has been able to work with Mike in many different capacities with different committees and things. And I've never met a person who has been more dedicated to the fire service, to the staff here at the Hadley Fire Department, the town. It's really amazing to see, and it pushes all of us who are chiefs to be more like Mike with that passion that he has for everybody. It's really, you don't see a lot of that all the time, so you should be very proud of that, and the community as well, proud of that. Mike has been on very many committees. We've traveled to Washington. He fights at the Washington government level, federal level, for grant money to make sure the money is coming to not just Hadley Fire, but the fire departments across the Commonwealth. So again, great work. You've been a mentor to all of us. I really appreciate your friendship. Thank you.
So my name's Evan Bryant. I'm the Granby Fire Chief. I was the deputy here under Mike for the last 7 years. So I sent him a big text message this morning saying it's your day, it's no one else's day, and everything that you've done for everyone. Sorry, but it's my honor to give him the Hampshire County Fire Chief certificate for the last 13 years.
Thank you. Load up the office again.
No. Our next speaker is representing the Hadley Firefighters Local 5486, Lieutenant Michael Mazulis.
For those I haven't met yet, my name is Mike Mazulis, and I have the honor of speaking on behalf of the Hadley Firefighters Local 5486 and all the call force members standing behind you today. I'll also mention that I'm the last speaker before the chief himself, which means I'm the last man standing between you and your retirement. So I'll keep this quick, Chief. When they asked me to say a few words, my first thought was 5 minutes isn't enough. 27 years does not fit into 5 minutes, but I'll do my best because that's what the chief always taught us. You don't get to pick the size of the job or the size of your crew. You just show up and do the best you can. I want to talk to you what it's like to work with Chief Spanknebel. Not the title, but the man who actually did the job. Because the chief didn't lead from behind a desk. He led from the streets, often being the only one in the station doing everything himself, from responding to medicals, fire alarms, and running inspections. We even come back here sometimes to find him cleaning out a corner of the station. I don't think there's a single property in town that chief has not been inside in one way or another. Whether it was on a call or an inspection, it's hard to imagine the number of lives he's touched in his career. One of my first memories of Chief Spanknebel, when I first joined the call force, was on the side of Route 9, just east of the malls. Chief was dressed, as you see him today, lifting a storm drain cover with tools he found in the back of his car, shoulder deep in the drain, trying to help some baby ducklings. That's who's been here for 27 years, calm when it mattered, steady when the rest of us weren't, and somehow always the last one to take credit and the first one to check on his crew. And I mean that literally. After every crazy call in the middle of the night, or even before he left for the night, he would always check on us. A lengthy exchange of, are you okay? Do you need anything? And our reassurings, yes, before he could go home for the night. Some of us have heard that so many times we can still hear it in our sleeps, and honestly, we're better for it. He built something here that does not show up on any report. It's the guy who, still on shift at midnight, who knows he can call the chief with a problem and get a straight answer. It's a firehouse where people actually look out for each other because that's the standard he set. I can say this honestly, Chief Spanknebel always treated us like partners, not obstacles. He fought for our safety, our equipment, our contracts, because he never stopped thinking of himself as one of us. Chief, on behalf of every member of Local 5486, thank you. Thank you for 27 years of showing up. Thank you for the calls where you had our backs and the ones you probably never mentioned to anyone. Thank you for building a department. We're proud to wear this uniform. Tonight is the first night in 27 years that you, and probably Jessica, don't have to be woken up by the tones of the pager. You've earned the quiet mornings ahead of you. We have the watch from here. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
So the last speaker on the agenda, and the most important one, and the one that you've all been waiting for, delivering the fire chief's address, Chief Michael Spanknebel.
So I just want to tell you that there's a gentleman out back, one of my mentors, who was texting me this morning. I just said how nervous I was, and this was going to be a tough speech. So he said, just think of everyone with no clothes on. So I'm going to ask Dave to take his shirt off right now so that I can stop, so I won't cry. So. Anyways, I just want to thank you all for attending today. It really means a lot to have you all here. Again, most difficult speech in my career. It's hard to put into words 27 years of service. And there's so many friends, family, firefighters, past and present, town officials, neighboring departments, community members I wish to acknowledge, who have made my career a success. To all of you, thank you. I would like to express my gratitude and humility for having had the opportunity to serve you. I can't even follow my own letter here. So first off, and most important, I want to thank my family. So again, a career in the fire service isn't one person's commitment, it's a commitment made by an entire family. To my amazing wife, Jessica, my best friend, usually, and my amazing son and daughter, Sloan and Gage, there's no way I can express my thanks for all of your sacrifices and your support. I got a lot more for tonight. Then I want to thank my second family. And that's to all the members of the fire department. And I want to ask you right now, anyone that is active or past members of this department, I'd like you to join me up here. Please. That would be you two guys over there. 3 guys. Come on, Stephen. So it has been the greatest honor to serve alongside each of you. I have learned so much from each of you, and you all bring so much to this department and the community we serve. I've had the honor to work with IT specialists, plumbers, electricians, landscapers, heavy equipment operators, farmers, carpenters, foresters, and every other trade under the sun. including the gentleman behind me, one of the gentlemen behind me, who's actually going to give me my ride home, who has actually been known to build a backhoe or two. So you can imagine that when you go to a fire scene and you see a house that's being damaged by water or by fire, we could literally rebuild it that night with everybody that we have on scene. But these gentlemen bring so much to this community and this department, and I can't thank them enough for that. The bond we share is unlike any other. It's built on trust, respect, and a willingness to stand beside each other no matter the situation. Thank you for your dedication, your professionalism, your friendship, and for making me proud to be a part of this department every single day. You guys have to stay up here. It gets bigger. So now, to our public safety partners in crime, no pun intended. I would like to welcome up all past, present, and anybody that wants to be a police officer. I would like you to all come up here and join us, unless you were all firefighters before and you're back here already. I wish to thank the police department, especially Chief Mason, and also to our actually there's more, and also to the lifeline for our emergency services. I'd like to ask all of our current, present, past dispatchers, our public safety dispatchers who are the lifeline to all of us, and any other members that are a part of our department, please come up. Maybe you're getting the picture here, but there's a lot it takes to run this community. And we have all these amazing people behind me right now, and I wouldn't be here today in the role that I play without all of these professionals behind me. I'd also like to ask that our lovely town inspectors, if they're here, and that's past, present, included. So Board of Health, Ben Lippum, I think I saw you. Paul Miller, Dennis Field, electrical and plumbing inspectors, Inspector Harrington, David Washkevitz, and of course, our past commissioners, Tom Quinlan and Tim Nyhart. Believe it or not, but when there's a fire at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're also making the call. And then finally, for our lovely community, to our DPW partners. They're also a part of our emergency response network. And again, if any of them are here today, I'd like to have them come up as well, past, present, future. So again, I would like to thank Megan Cahill as the dispatch supervisor, Scott McCarthy as our DPW director. Again, couldn't have done all this without you. So again, I'm going to have you stand for just a couple more minutes, sorry. But I would also like all of my partners in crime, the fire chiefs, the State Fire Marshal's Office, along with Mass Emergency Management, I would like you to come up here as well. You have also been a major part of my life, and you have made it so that I have so many people that I can call if there's ever a problem, an issue. So I would ask you all to come up and stand by me, please. So I just want to thank you for your guidance and support, or just to listen, no matter if it was positive or negative, to talk me off a cliff, whatever it was. I learned that no one succeeds alone, so thank you. To all the departments in the town that make this community great, again, I want to thank you all. So thank you very much. You guys can sit. Thank you, everybody. So there's also another group of folks in town, maybe they aren't getting up at 2 in the morning responding to calls, but it's all the department heads and members of our community that also support us. And you have a lot of them in here right now. I'm not gonna ask you to come up, I promise, I didn't wanna get hit. But my wife Jessica is the town clerk. We have Sue Gluwatsky here, we have Dee Dee, we have Park and Rec, Amy. We just have a lot of folks here that make this department in this community run as well. So to all of you, I thank you for everything you've done. Jennifer, got you in the back, so thank you again. Thank you for all your help. Again, round of applause for all of them as well. There's also some folks that didn't make it here today, and I want to make sure that I acknowledge them. They're very important in my life. Of course, my mom and dad, my grandparents that I stole from Jessica, Augie and Sylvia Wojciechowski. They're very instrumental in my life. And my sister-in-law, Rachel, and a special young boy, my godson, Aiden. Also, I'd like to recognize Chief Huckowitz, who actually started with me here. I miss him today. And I also miss the gentleman from MEMA who said that I called him Bob, and that's Bob Barry, who is my regional coordinator with MEMA, who is also always by my side and always had my back. There's also another very special young man, and I call him a little hero. So his name's Sam Pollard, and he continues to inspire me every day. He had a contagious smile, a laugh, and it didn't matter what the day was, if he was in pain, or if we were doing a bus evacuation drill, but he always was there and smiled and made us all feel better. And his parents were kind enough, because I can even cry on a parade route. I was marching in the Memorial Day Parade a number of years ago, and out comes this woman going, here, here, here. And one of his favorite things were Minions. And this has been in my office on my corkboard that I look at every day. And it just reminds me of how important it is to keep your head up no matter how bad the day it is, because, you know, it can be worse. So it can never get that bad. Anyways, so thank you. Also, I wanted to say, I wish that we had two other folks here. John Wojciechowicz passed away way too young, and then also Edward Dukevitz. And then again, one of my closest friends who is actually going to be standing here with me today, Officer John Robitaille. He kind of backed out on me and said, yeah, I think I'm going to go for another year. But anyways, we had talked many a time about having this day together. And I'm sure he's looking down on us right now. So again, just briefly how it started. You know, again, I was fortunate. Some of the gentlemen that you saw come up here, when my wife and I were running Nabala's Market, they would come into the store and sit down and have a coffee and maybe a ginger brandy, I don't know. Anyway, and some of them you saw stand up here, but they talked me into actually coming on board as a call force firefighter. My original career was actually as a carpenter, and so I was going to add to the level of professionalism that I had with all of my other partners. But I decided to join, and I remember my first fire. It was about 98 degrees. I had never put a jacket on before, and I had just been brought on board by a gentleman that I'll be thanking shortly. But we had the first congregational church fire. So I came to the station here, and there was one truck left. And I'm like, what do I do? So fortunately, I grabbed my gear, and I decided to drive over there and see if I could do anything. And as soon as I got there, Assistant Chief Ed Dukevitz yelled at me so loud, get your jacket on and get up that ladder and cut a hole in the side of the building. I'm like, okay, I got it. Never had a jacket on before in my life, never put the bunker pants on. I saw it on TV. So I did that part, and I crawled up the ladder, and as I'm crawling up, I'm pretty sure it was Mr. Kostek handed me an axe. He said, here you go, Mike, get up there. And this was a 1954 Maxim, you guys probably remember. that you literally had to put up 10 feet extra high because when you got to the tip, it would drop down. So he handed me this axe, and I went up there and I took a swing at that wall, and it was like I was hitting a concrete beam. And the axe flew back out of my hands, and I said, this is going to be a long day. So anyways, that was a memory for me, and that's where it all started. I was really, really fortunate to have made those acquaintances. And I still remember there was a young lieutenant, J.J. Nuttleman, when I got on the truck with him. You're so wound up, and he goes, Mike, just breathe. Just take a breath. And I remember that to this day, and many a call at 2 o'clock in the morning when your heart's going like this, because there's a fire going on, and I'd be like, JJ told me to just take a breath, so I'm going to do that now. So again, I have a very special person to thank as well, and that's Chief Jim Keitsa. He's the one who had the original vision. I took it to the next step, but it was his vision that we needed to have someone in this community full-time. Jimmy was passionate about this town as well, having to drive out all over the place in a tractor-trailer truck. I know how much it burdened him and worried him that he couldn't be in town every day during the week. And I know that was tough for you, Jim, but look what you've done. You started this. So I'd like to recognize Jim Keitsa. So never imagined the day would come for me to become a chief, but I'm truly honored and privileged that I was able to. I'd like to reflect a little bit on the excitement and nervousness of those early years. And again, just wanted to mention some folks that were instrumental in me moving forward. And I'm going to call them by their fun names. And we got the Blighter boys in the house here. Myron Shudzik, one of my mentors. We have JJ, Mink, Balloonist, Barstow, Stump, Jimmy Jr., Mo, Stanley P., Timmy, Keeler, Stanley K. The list is never ending. Brandon Daniel, and it just keeps going. All these young folks that actually grew up in Hadley that were committed to our community. And if I forgot anybody, I'll buy you a drink later. So, anyways, lessons learned. The fire service is about people, not just fire. And every emergency has taught me a lesson. Leadership is earned through trust and not rank. The legacies, and I thank all of you because it wouldn't have been done without all of you. The new North Hadley Fire Station, beautiful, beautiful station, and that's because of all of you. You were there and recognized that we needed to protect that end of town, and we needed a building that we could actually back a fire truck into that was big enough. The fact that you also allowed us to move to 24/7 coverage, we did have a little blip in the road, but we're looking forward to building that back again so that you have the public safety that you all deserve. And that's a minimum of 2 firefighters on duty 24/7. Again, we established our first town-owned basic ambulance service that you see, our lovely ambulance out here that we poached from Northampton for not that much money, which was great. So we provide second calls for service, and our mission is to get to you all quickly when you have a medical emergency. And I can tell you all the gentlemen that work here, all that have their basic, even if they don't, they are all committed to getting to you as quickly as you can, and they all practice and train to be the best that they can for this town. We successfully obtained assistance to firefighter grants, so the turnout gear that you see in the lockers, the air packs that we used to share masks. Not that great. Mask doesn't get washed out and somebody has some bad breath or whatever they had for dinner. You try not to pick that up, but that was one of my prime missions, was to make sure that all of us had adequate, proper turnout gear, and that we had the ability to actually take care of that turnout gear, not just for our townspeople, but for these members who were exposing themselves to stuff that you can't imagine. And that they don't bring it home to their families, that they're washing it here at the station, putting it back in service, and even the clothes that they're wearing during the day that may be splattered with blood or something, that they're washing it here and not taking it home and exposing their families. I'm also very proud to have developed the SAFE program and taken that to the next level in the town of Hadley. We have the principal of the Hadley Elementary School here with us. Jen has been a partner in that. And I can tell you it was probably one of the best days of my life going over there and having 300+ young students clapping and making me cards that I'm still reading. And I can't tell you how amazing that is, but this young generation of folks, they know how to even dial 911 and get help. So that program has been amazing. And one of my other passions was mitigating hazards in our community. And one of the things we noted when I started was our Green Leaves Drive, where we have 4, 40-unit family apartments over there, actually 5. And we would respond to a fire alarm call and nobody would be outside of the building. A lot of times it was just me responding. And I was like, how the heck am I gonna get all these people out of here if there's actually an emergency? So in the 2 senior buildings, we started putting together a plan on how seniors could evacuate. We taught them how to put together a meeting spot. We had hall monitors that would walk down quickly and make sure people were getting out of the building. And then we tested it. We tested it and we learned from it. And then we actually had a fire emergency in one of the apartments. One of our new tenants, she started a fire on her stove. And when I arrived with our group, all of them were standing outside of the building. They had their vests on. They had an accountability sheet. They were telling me, well, Marge is at the doctor's office today, so she's not here. And Jennifer is upstairs, but she can't come out because she is in a wheelchair. So that inspired me to have a conversation with the Office of the State Fire Marshal. And we started discussing, well, we have a student safe program. What about a senior safe program? And that's when we started, and we are the recipients in Hadley of the first Golden Hero Award for the Senior Safe Program. So I'm very proud of that. So I've been committed to, strengthening relationships with our neighboring communities across borders, and just by all of you gentlemen here today, I truly thank you for all of that. You are instrumental in my career, and I can't thank you enough. Again, thank you to the residents for trusting in me. It's truly been a privilege. And retirement, I am truly looking forward to more time with my family. I owe them an awful lot. And it'll be my new job now to pass the badge over to my wife, and she'll be in command and tell me what to do. But I'll always be in the background. I promise I'll be here cheering you on. And I thank you to Bob Flaherty for stepping into the role. And there's one other person that I really need to thank, and I think she's probably hiding out back because she told me she would kill me. But, oh, there she is. I want to say thank you to Heidi for putting all this together with all the members who took all the time to clean the station out and set all this up. A special thank you to Alex LaMarche and his team for doing all this camera work. Alex has been tireless for the fire department so that you guys are aware of what's going on in the community. And again, I express confidence that the department's future is bright and the new leadership, and I hope the town will continue to support it from the residents up to and including our lovely select board members and finance committee. So again, I appreciate your time coming out today, and we do have some food and stuff, and I would just like to say thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, we will now have the transfer of command and swearing in of the acting fire chief by the town clerk, Jessica Spanknebel.
promise you the short version this time. Do you solemnly swear to faithfully and impartially perform all the duties imposed upon you as interim fire chief in the town of Hadley, according with the bylaws of Hadley and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, so help you God?
I do.
Fabulous.
Don't worry, guys. I'm not going to stick him in the chest. I got 10 more years till retirement. For him.
Did you tell you glued that?
Seriously, did you? There we go. I'm going to take 2 seconds to say that it's an honor to get to do this in the town of Hadley a second time in less than a month. And I'm grateful after all the work I've gotten to do under Chief Spanknebel these years, being a dispatcher here in Hadley for a little while and working over the bridge for 29 years in Hatfield as a firefighter. This guy's taught me a lot, so I'm proud to say that my husband gets to be a part of Hadley now.
We now have come to the final tradition of today's ceremony, the last radio call. In the fire service, the radio is our lifeline, connecting us through every emergency, every long night, and every successful outcome. It is only fitting that the chief's final exit from duty is marked over the airwaves. I ask everyone to please remain standing and remain absolutely silent as we hand the airwaves over to dispatch for Chief Spanknebel's final alarm.
What do you want me to say? That's all.
Fire alarm to all Hadley monitors. Be advised, Fire Chief Spanknebel is conducting his last shift. Fire alarm calling X1, Fire Chief Spanknebel.
Chief Spanknebel is answering fire alarm.
Chief Spanknebel, today, July 11th, 2026, marks your final day of devoted service to the community of Hadley. After 27 years of unwavering bravery, leadership, and dedication, we thank you for keeping us safe, protecting our citizens, and guiding this department with honor. Your legacy will remain. The watch is carried on.
Fire Chief Spanknebel clear of duty. Thank you.
Enjoy your well-deserved retirement.
Good.
So as Chief Spanknebel is going to make his way around the room, because there are a lot of folks here, and it might take him a little while, there are some light refreshments in the back corner. Help yourselves. Feel free to hang around. Chief Spanknebel will have his final ride out of the fire station at approximately 1,500 hours. Thank you.